Okay, this is probably going to be my longest video ever. So there's this YouTuber named Charlie or something. He's currently making videos about the Butter series. While watching them, I thought of something. Hey, what if I did the exact same thing? But like, just copied the entire video and paint my name over it and make it about Undertale. So that's what I'm doing. So you know what? Just cut to the part where I start. So Undertale, do I really need to tell you what it is? It's the game with the funny skeleton meme guy. In case you live under a rock, or underground. Undertale is an indie game made by Toby Fox all the way back in 2015. It was also heavily inspired by EarthBound. That's why I'm copying that YouTuber, get inspired by him. The game instantly became huge and popular, with people doing these gameplay videos all the way to intense fan fiction. I mean, intense. Please don't look into it, I swear. You'll be scarred. Okay, enough explaining. Let's actually play the game. The game starts with a tale of how things started. There are two races, humans and monsters. They lived in peace until the humans attacked the monsters and banished them under a mountain with a powerful spell. After many years later, we see us, the player, just straight up jump into a big hole in the mountain. Okay, there's no way we're gonna survive that. What? Okay, this is Frisk, the human child. We wake up on this flower bed and do the only thing we can do. Walk right. Going to the next room, we see a single flower. It talks? This is Flowey, the flower with the stupidest name ever. He's kind enough to teach us how to make friends. How polite of him. Tells us we need to get stronger, which is done by gaining LV, which is short for love. He sends us some of his friendliness pellets, and we happily accept them because Flowey has been so nice. What jerk. After betraying us, Flowey tries to take our soul right from our body, but we're saved by a goat named Toriel, the tutorial character. Is her name a pun? After saving us, Toriel leads us into the ruins, the old capital of the underground, and then straight off the bat, we come face to face with a puzzle. Thankfully, Toriel does this puzzle for us. We move on to the other room, and there's another puzzle. Okay, pause. Apparently it's a tradition for monsters to suffer through horrible puzzles every time they walk like 50 feet outside or something. Resuming, we move on to the next room, where we meet a training dummy, and are told to talk to it. It can't talk. Going up to the dummy, we're able to do one of four things: fight, act, heal, or spare. Each action changes the outcome of what happens, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to run away from everyone like a coward. Except for the dummy, we're gonna kill him! Man, we just straight up obliterated him, oh my god. After the battle, we encounter yet another puzzle. This time, the floor is made of spikes, and if you make the wrong move, well, it's not gonna be that pretty. Thankfully, Toriel does the puzzle again and straight up abandons us. She probably didn't like how we blew up a dummy. So now we're on our own for like 15 seconds because Toriel can't bring herself to leave us alone. Probably because we just destroyed a dummy right in front of her. Luckily for us though, Toriel has to run some errands, so she gives us a cell phone, tells us to wait, and runs off. And of course, we don't listen. Leaving the room, we come across a save point. That's it. It's not gonna have some huge importance that affects the entire story in the game or anything like that. While exploring the ruins, we meet multiple monsters that all try to take our soul from us. Okay, Lord Dump Time, that's a very original name for it. So every monster wants to kill us because they can take our soul, and with it, they can escape from the underground and be free, and become an all-powerful god. But us, being the coward that we are, just run away from them all. Moving on, we meet this ghost just laying on the floor, and we are forced to move him out of the way. I mean, I don't know how we can move him because, well, he's a ghost. Anyways, this is Napstablook, a ghost with severe depression. He attacks us, using depression, and it even gets to a point where he just doesn't feel like attacking us. Man, since we can't run away from him, we befriend him, and now, a Toriel's house. I'm gonna pause again. Now you might be thinking, Cooper Plays, why are the ruins so short? Well, first of all, they are. Second of all, I'm skipping half the rooms because they're all just puzzles. Back to the present time, Toriel sees us and takes us into our home, which is sweet, but also kind of creepy. Like, who brings ram kids back to their house? Anyways, Toriel brings us into our home and makes a butterscotch pie for us and gives us our own room. Even though we destroyed the train dummy right in front of her. She tells us that she'll give us the best life experience and oh, never mind, we can just leave. After asking Toriel how to leave, she runs off, and yet again, we follow her. We follow her down into the basement where she tells us that she's going to destroy the exit of the ruins because she doesn't want us to get killed outside. But one monologue later, she tells us that we can leave if we can kill her. So us, being the coward that we are, run away and we're back at the start again. So yeah, the only way to exit the ruins is by either fighting or sparing Toriel. Going back down, Toriel still hasn't destroyed the door, so we challenge her again, but this time, we continuously spare her over and over and over again to the point that she purposely doesn't attack us. Then, she stops. She tells us that we don't have to leave, that we can live a good life, that we can stay with her. But even though she wants us to stay, we choose to spare her. Once more. She gives in. She lets us leave because she knows that we won't do the wrong thing. She knows that we won't be endangered. She knows that we'll be kind. She gives us a short hug and leaves. Surprisingly, it's already one of the most saddest moments in the game, so take a moment if you need to. Because that jerk Flowey's in the room over! So, Flowey never died. He mocks us and says that he can't wait to see us struggle, and he laughs and disappears. Comment, like, and subscribe if you hate this guy! Leaving the ruins, we enter a dark, snowy forest, where we're being stalked by not one, but two different people. The first one has cameras installed all over the underground. The second one is right behind me. The shadowy figure tells us that we should shake his hand. Well, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, come on! Okay, so this is Sans. Sans the skeleton, aka the funny meme skeleton with the song that goes like He tells us that he's on the watch for humans. Uh-oh. Thankfully, he's too lazy to do his job, but his brother is a human hunting fanatic. Double uh-oh. But luckily, Sans helps us by hiding behind a lamp that's shaped just like us. Suddenly, the human hunter comes over. This is Papyrus, the future celebrity, unparalleled spagator, and the best character in the entire game. I don't care what you say, he's my favorite, I love him so much. He starts yelling at Sans for not working on his puzzles, and oh my god, don't tell me there's more puzzles here too! But Sans, being the carefree lazy buns he is, just responds with skeleton puns. Papyrus marches off, and before we leave, Sans tells us one last thing. To just hang out with his brother, make his day, because he hasn't seen a human at all. And so, we accept it, and now, we're in Snowdin. Okay, wait. You know how I said at the beginning how I was just gonna copy Charlie's video and just paint my name on it? Yeah, well, I just talked with some certain people, and they said that I shouldn't copy everything from his video, even though I'm still trying to make this original. Right, like, I have one of his videos up right now while writing the script, so I'm gonna take the paint off. I bought a whole bucket of new paint over it. This is a Cooper Plays video now. This is our town now, boys. Alright, so Snowdin. There's a lot of snow. I don't know how there's snow in the underground, but that doesn't matter because Sans and Papyrus found us. Papyrus tells us how he's going to capture us and deliver us to the head of the Royal Guard. Now, the Royal Guard is basically the police of the underground. Now, the only problem with it is that half the members are dogs. We meet the first one on patrol, and the thing about this guy is that he can only see moving things. And he's addicted to smoking dog treats. But no time to rest. The great Papyrus is up ahead with another preposterous puzzle that will make me furious, because the monsters who made all these puzzles are devious. Jeez, I sound like Dr. Seuss. This puzzle is an electric maze that Papyrus accidentally shows us how to solve. Oh, Papyrus. After that shockingly easy puzzle, we get to roll a snowball! And only get 3 gold after it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, currency down here in the underground is just gold. Just pure gold bars. Maybe living in the underground isn't too bad if I'm going to be a millionaire. Anyways, we're solving another puzzle now. This time, Sans made it. It's today's crossword puzzle. It's so easy, even Papyrus gets mad. Then we get jumped by 2 dogs. We pat him and walk away. And then we get jumped by another dog, who I actually ended up paying so much that his neck went off the screen, and then came right back. I love that dog. Now, we get 3 puzzles in a row, with the best one being this tile puzzle. Let me tell you what each tile does. I'm copying this straight from the game. So, each color has a different function. Nope, not talking like that. Each color has a different function. Red tiles are impassable. You cannot walk on them. Yellow tiles are electric. They will electrocute you. Green tiles are alarm tiles. If you step on them, you'll have to fight a monster. Orange tiles are orange scented. It will make you smell delicious. Blue tiles are water tiles. Swim through them if you like, but if you smell like oranges, the piranhas will bite you. Also, if the blue tile is next to a yellow tile, the water will also zap you. Purple tiles are slippery. You will slide to the next tile, However, this slippery soap smells like lemons, which prawns do not like. Purple and blue are okay. Finally, pink tiles, they don't do anything. Step on them all you like. Understand? Yeah, me neither. I was the one talking, so hopefully I can solve this puzzle. So now that we're on our way again, with only one puzzle left, and Sans, he's pretty cool. And then we get jumped by another dog! Guess what we do to it? Anyways, Barbaros has one last puzzle in store for us. Judging by how easy the last couple of puzzles were, this shouldn't be too hard. What the heck? This isn't even a puzzle! This is a death trap! So Papyrus puts together this huge puzzle that will surely kill us, but then decides to put it away because it isn't creative. I mean, if it saves me from being killed, then yeah, I agree. On to the next room, we enter Snowdin Town. Why is it called Snowdin? Well, I guess you could say the residents are Snowdin. Yeah, everything in this game is basically a pun. Anyways, this town is great. It has a shop, hotel, bar, library. Oh, there's also a secret lab behind their house that's never explained. Could possibly piece together every part of who Sans is. That's not important right now though, because Papyrus is here. He tells us about how he's amazing and great, and how he has so many friends. He offers to become our friend, and remembers, he's trying to capture us. He starts a bar with one of the best songs in the whole game, and starts attacking us. We do the only thing we can do. Flirt. We tell him that we can make spaghetti and Yeah, so some stuff happened. So we end up dating Papyrus, and let me just say two things. One, this is one of the most funny moments in the game, like the whole time Papyrus is trying to beat you at dating. And there's this scene where he thinks that we need all these stats in order for us to have a successful date. It's awesome. And secondly, this is only the first day in the game out of 3. So after the date, it didn't go too well. I was rejected by a skeleton. Papyrus gives us his phone number, and we move on to Waterfall. Okay, let me say this straight off the bat. I hate Waterfall. Almost the entire time you're walking around, and this person is trying to kill you. Sans is here, so that's pretty cool. Sans tells us that he's going on break, and asks us if we want to go to the bar. I mean, I'm a 10-year-old kid, but sure, free drinks. He says that he knows a shortcut, and holy cow, did he just teleport? Sitting down at the bar, we fall for another whoopee cushion trick. I am so gullible. Sans buys us a nice cheeseburger and tells us how Papyrus is being trained by the head of the royal guard. Keep that in mind. Sans jokes around a bit more and then gets all serious and locks in. I'm sorry for using Gen Z language in my video. As an apology, I wrote a song. Anyways, Sans tells us about echo flowers, which are located all over Waterfall, and repeat what they hear over and over again. Apparently, a flower is telling Papyrus secrets and predictions. Spoiler, it's Flowey. It's Flowey. He's the one telling Papyrus everything. Anyways, Sans walks off, and now we can go to Waterfall. Walking forward, we get to play in tall grass. We're gonna get so many ticks, but no time for diseases. The great Papyrus is here, along with the next major character, Undyne, the head of the royal guard, and also Nemo. Papyrus tells Undyne that he spared us instead of capturing us, and that makes Nemo very mad. So now Papyrus is helping her. And when we just finished our date, come on Papyrus! So after the little meetup, we can now leave at 3-2-1 Ghost Town. Well, that was close. Leaving the grass, we meet Monster Kid. His catchphrase is, Undyne is so cool. He runs off and now we're on our own. Okay, like I said before, Waterfall is pretty boring. There's Undyne and just a whole lot of lore. Anyways, it's lore time, featuring our special guest, Mapat. Oh wait, he retired. Walking through Waterfall, we learn about the war between humans and monsters. Remember that? We talked about it like 9 script pages ago. Oh my god, what I've been doing with my life. I've been writing this for like 9 pages. Reading the ancient text on the walls, we learn about souls. Humans have such powerful souls that it takes the power of every monster's soul to roughly equal the power of 1 human soul. But since human souls are so powerful, they're able to stay alive even if the human dies. Wait a minute, does that make humans zombies then? Since their soul can stay alive, monsters are able to absorb their soul and become a powerful beast. But now screw history class, because Undyne is trying to kill us! She chases us across the bridge and into even more tall grass. Undyne eventually catches up to us and grabs... Monster Kid? Undyne leaves and Monster Kid starts talking about how cool it was to be touched by Undyne. What? Now, the next room is kind of weird because there's this 0.1 chance of a guy labeled Mystery Man, who's widely believed to be W.D. Gaster. Now, Gaster is, well, a mystery. It'll take forever for me to explain him, so I recommend doing your own research on him and who he is. Meanwhile, Sansa's here, which is pretty cool. He gives us a black eye. I only killed a training dummy, that was all! In the next room, we learn that the humans attacked the monsters because they feared the power to turn into gods. Speaking of monsters, we meet the most annoying one, Onion, throughout this entire room. He asks us questions, tells us about himself, but he's just so annoying. Thankfully, we ditch him behind. Oh, you thought we were done with annoying characters? Nope! Monster Kid finds us and starts telling us about how cool Undyne is. We get! She's a fish in armor that wants to kill us! I don't care! On the topic of Undyne, she's here to kill us again. But on a different bridge. Undyne chases us along the bridge, throwing spears at us until we reach a dead end. Undyne closes in on us and throws spears. You could have killed us! How did you mess that up? Oh my god! We wake up on flower bed, and again, flowers save our fall. We find that we're in a place where all the trash from the humans ends up. Jeez, us humans are litter bugs. We eventually find this dummy who, guess what? Wants to kill us! Because we killed their cousin in the ruins. Oh man. He gets filled with anger and starts using other dummies to try to kill us. But they're so bad that they end up attacking the mad dummy. So he makes robots that also attack him. So he results to being reasonable. And takes a knife and throws it at us. He only had the one. But that doesn't matter because he can't kill us and we can't kill him. So we'd be fine forever. If it weren't for Luke, who accidentally cries acid tears and frees us. How depressed is this guy? He invites us over to his house where we listen to peak music, race snails, and feel like worthless garbage. Anyways, welcome to Undertale Theory. We learned that after the war between humans and monsters, 7 powerful monsters. I'm just realizing why I put my script. I put down 7 powerful monsters, sealed monsters. Okay, wait, sorry. We learned that after the war between humans and monsters, 7 powerful humans sealed the monsters underground using a powerful barrier. Anyone can go through it, but to leave, it'll need a powerful soul. And to break the barrier, it'll need 7 powerful souls. Man, hopefully they don't have any souls. Before we leave Waterfall, there's one area I want to mention, which is Temmie Village. Now, Temmie is the co-creator of Undertale. Temmie are cat-like monsters that talk like, "Hoi! I'm Temmie! Make sure to say hoi to my friend, Temmie!" For you Nintendo nerds out there, they're basically Mr. Silent from EarthBound. I stole that from Charlie's video. Anyways, Undyne wants to kill us again, but we're finally not on our bridge. It's a Christmas miracle! She corners us and tells us that the monsters need 7 human souls to break the barrier. We already know that though, come on Undyne. With the 7 souls, King Asgore... Oh wait, I never explained King Asgore. So down here in the underground, the monsters have kings and queens. Asgore is the king, and the queen is the secret. Alright, yeah, I'm about to die. Undyne threatens us and says that she'll tear our soul from our body. She's about to attack until Monster Kid comes from behind some grass. Undyne grabs him and takes him away. How are we not dead yet? Up ahead is another bridge. I think we both know what's gonna happen here. Monster Kid finds us and tells us that we have to be enemies. Because Undyne told him to! And asks us to insult him. Now us, being the kind-hearted person that would never hurt Flowey, say yes. Just yes. That's all we say. Monster Kid tries to insult us back, but can't because he doesn't want to be enemies. So what was the point to tell us that we had to be enemies then? He walks away, but slips and falls off the bridge, barely holding on. I mean, we could save him. Oh, there's Undyne. Let's do the right thing and tell an adult. Going over to Undyne, Monster Kid falls, and Undyne jumps down to save them. Oh wait, never mind, we messed up. Everyone, R.I.P. Monster Kid down in the comments. Wait, where did you come from? 7 human souls, and King Asgore will become a god for the last time. We already know this! 6. That's how many we have collected thus far. We're the last piece of the puzzle, aren't we? Undyne begins to tell us the tragic tale of her people until... No, you know what? Screw it! Why should I explain that when I'm about to die? Undyne jumps down to us and we start a battle. We do the typical battle stuff, like suplexing boulders. With most boss fights so far, we aren't able to flee to spare the enemies. With this fight, we have to. Running away from Undyne, she gets pretty pissed off, but we keep running until we get a call from Papyrus, saying that we should hang out with Undyne sometime. Undyne sounds pretty cool. I wonder what she thinks of us. Oh, I forgot we were fighting Undyne. Guess we gotta hang out with Undyne later. Anyways, now we're in Hotland. Okay, now's not the time for the intro because Undyne just passed out due to the lack of water. I'm just now realizing that she needs water to survive because she's a fish. But we'll give her water because we'll help the sea animals. Turning it to plastic cup, she gets up and walks back home. Now we can enter Hotland. Look, giant lab with an unlocked door. We should enter it. It doesn't seem ominous. Walking in the lab, we see a giant screen that displays us. Are we on the Truman Show or something? That joke was also stolen. Oh yeah, we're in somebody's house. Everyone, this is Elfies, the royal scientist, and loser anime nerd. Also says she was, watching us through cameras as soon as we left the ruins. Kinda creepy, might call the royal guard after this. She also tells us that she made a human-killing robot named Mettaton. Why would you ever make that? She tells us that we probably won't run into them though, so that's good. That's them, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mettaton. He's a killer rectangle that owns a TV production studio. After Mettaton breaks through the wall, he puts us on a game show, where if we lose, we die! Why don't they do this on the actual game shows? It'll make it a lot more entertaining. They give us questions such as complex math problems, memory games, if we'll smooch a ghost. There's no option. We eventually get a question about anime, and Elfies answers it for us, which is good for us, but bad for Mettaton. So they ask us who Elfies has a crush on. I didn't know, so I chose Undyne. She writes fanfiction about Undyne? Oh my god. The game show ends and Elfies upgrades our phone for us. She gives us the social media and storage so we can stuff items into our phone to hold onto them. Leaving the lab, we continue our journey. Let me tell you, Hotland has it all. There's moving walkways, air vents, and lasers. The only problem is, Elfies keeps updating her freaking stats. Touch grass or something. We don't care about your entire life. We eventually get into this very dark room, which turns out to be a cooking show. Everyone, welcome to Cooking with a Killer Robot. Featuring a killer robot, our goal is to bake a cake. We need eggs, flour, milk, and a human soul. Oh, let's kill Elfies. She calls and asks if there are any ingredients for vegans. Which I'm assuming there wouldn't be. Oh, no. There's some right over there. All I have to do is grab it. What the heck? And we're on a time limit? Okay, this is going to be impossible. Unless we use our phone! See, when Elfies upgraded our phone for us, she installed a jetpack, which is unbelievable but very helpful. So we used the jetpack to fly up to the can and leave it because Mettaton already baked a cake. So I turned my phone into a jetpack for no reason? Moving on, we get shown the core, which is the structure that powers the entire underground. Wouldn't it be crazier if we had dance off in there? I'm just throwing my hat into the ring though. We now have access to the elevator that brings us up to the second floor, where we meet Sand, who stacks exactly 29 hot dogs on her head. Now, the next puzzle is pretty annoying. Elfies helps us with the first one, because she's so kind, and then leaves for the hardest puzzle in the game. On my first playthrough, I spent like 15 minutes trying to solve it. I'm not kidding. After that painful puzzle, we meet Royal Guard 1 and 2. Those are their actual names. They confront us and we fight them. Just kidding, we take off number 2's armor and get number 1 to confess their feelings for them, which ends the battle. This game is weird, but hey, this just in, we're on the news! We get a job as a news reporter, and it's actually much better than my job in real life, which is being jobless! We can walk around and report almost anything, so I chose this dog. Which turns out to be a bomb along with everything else in the room. Now we have to defuse all the bombs, or else the big bomb will explode. Thankfully, Elfies installed a bomb diffuser on our phone. somehow. So we go around defusing all the bombs until there's none left, and Metum, being the rectangle that they are, detonates the bomb anyway, because they're just like that. But Alphys defused the bomb, which saves us from dying. That's cool. After that, Alphys asks us if we're worried about me and Asgore. She says that it's okay, and he'll probably just let us cross the barrier with our human soul. Huh, this Asgore sounds like a good guy. Anyways, now we can go to the 3rd floor. This is the last floor in Hotland, and this is a Spire Bake Sale with pretty reasonable prices. Now, the 3rd floor is pretty short, so let me break it down for you. Start for the bake sale, there's a couple of puzzles, and a part where Alphys asks us if we want to watch anime. You know what? I'm just gonna say yes, just to be kind, and she's already told us the entire plot in the story. Remember that Spire Bake Sale I was talking about, like, 30 seconds ago? Yeah, well, we're in the boss's house now. Since we didn't eat any of their products, he's going to eat us now. She fights us and throws Spire's baked goods and a terrifying pet. Throughout the fight, we learned some lore that I barely paid any attention to. It probably relates to Flowey, Metan, or Gaster. But we get to the end and take part in Metan's show again. Now this time, it's very weird. They dress up as a princess or something and start saying about how we're their one true love. When I was first playing this game, I was praying that no one walked into the room and asked what was going on. After the song, we get thrown to the dungeon and have to do a tile puzzle. With fire chasing us? I don't remember the rules! Now, I have over 100 hours in this game. I can never beat this puzzle in time. So the fire catches up to us very slowly, and it takes so long that Alphys just disables the fire. I don't know how you disable fire. At least we get to live. Unless Metan kills us. Now, you have to know by now that Alphys upgraded our phone, along with a jetpack and bomb diffuser. She also installed a gun. Everyone's flexing that I have like an iPhone 16 Pro or whatever, but I don't see any firearms attached to it. So we use our phone to shoot Metan multiple times, so they run away. We thank Alphys and move on to the MTT Hotel. What does MTT stand for? Metan, of course! This place has everything. Hotel rooms, a bear place, and a creepy alleyway where monsters sell you junk they found in a river. And Sans! He's even so kind to take us out to dinner. What a guy. During our dinner, he asks if we want to leave. He points out facts that we already have food, drinks, and friends down the underground already. He shrugs it off and tells us about a story. Sans works in Snowdin as a sentry looking for humans. One day, he found this big old door in the woods and started practicing knock-knock jokes on it. Did a couple until a lady behind the door asked, "Who's there?" Sans said a joke and she almost laughed her head off. They keep telling each other jokes and meeting up every day at the door, until one day, the lady asked an unusual question. She asked Sans that if a human came through the door, that if he could protect them. Now Sans, he doesn't even know her name, says yes. Then, he tells us that if he didn't make the promise, it's honestly one of the most bone-chilling scenes in the game, because no Sans as this lazy guy who doesn't do anything, and him saying that he would kill us if we didn't make the promise is a pretty big shock. Never mind, he was just joking with us. It was a pretty funny joke, by the way. Anyways, Sans leaves, and we move on to the core. As I said earlier, the core is the power system of the entire underground in the final stretch before we meet Asgore. As soon as we step on the bridge, we see some monsters walk into the core. Alphys tells us that no one's allowed in there. But it doesn't matter. We're about to enter the core. When we walk in, there's an elevator that takes us straight up, and it's broken. No worries though, because Alphys has a map of the core. All we have to do is go right. Hey, that's a bit of fire. Alphys is trying to kill us. Oh, never mind. She didn't know that was the wrong way. We go the other way, and we're suddenly jumped by a couple of monsters. I take care of them though. Through kindness. Alphys doesn't know why there are so many monsters, but we proceed. Wait, that Delta room reference? In the next room, we have to dodge some lasers, and thankfully, Alphys tells us the order that they'll come in, which is the completely wrong order. I'm starting to have second guesses about Alphys. First, watching anime, now this? Yet again though, she messed up, but we keep going. The next room is a crossroad, while Alphys tells us to go up, which is where more monsters are! She is trying to kill us, and guess what? She says that she messed up again. In the next room, there's a bunch of lasers, and Alphys says that she won't mess up this time. But she does! And she ends up turning the whole nod, which lets us pass through. Not. She keeps messing up again, but she keeps turning them off to help us through. The next room is yet again another crossroad that looks nothing like Alphys' map, so she leaves us. Wow. Now we are given 3 options to continue. The first option requires us to do a couple of puzzles. The second option requires us to fight some monsters. And the third requires us to stand in a spot for 1 minute. Which is what I did! After doing absolutely nothing, we are allowed to enter the second last room of the core, where Mettaton is waiting for us. They tell us that they've been waiting for us to come and fight them for a long time. Not! Turns out, this was just a big show! And that Elfies was a part of it this whole time. While she was watching us on her screen like a creep, she wanted to have a role in her journey to Asgore. I'm just now realizing that I didn't tell you that we are trying to get to Asgore. I'm sorry. So she made herself important. She disabled the elevators, reactivated puzzles, and even asked Mettaton to torment us. And throughout those scenes and moments, she would help us. So we think that she's important, but she still has more to do. Mettaton tells us that she's waiting outside the room, and that she'll come in soon to deactivate Mettaton. But Mettaton is tired of what Elfies is doing. They have no desire to kill humans, only a desire to entertain. So he wants the audience. And he wants the audience to have a good show. And I'm just gonna let him take the stage for a sec. So that, we fight Mettaton. There's a couple of problems with this fight. 1, Mettaton can't be hit, and 2, we can't run away, so we're stuck here until something happens. Mettaton tells us that he rearranged the core, which is another thing I forgot to mention. Sorry, again. And that he hired all those monsters in the core to kill us, but now they want to kill us themselves. Didn't they just say how they don't want to kill humans? They say how they want our souls so that they can cross the barrier and become a celebrity. I mean, you can't kill a child to become a celebrity, and people are gonna find out. Never mind, they've already thought of that, and they don't care. We suddenly get a call from Elfies on our phone, and she tells us that there's a switch on Mettaton's back that makes him vulnerable to attacks. So, we tell them that there's a mirror behind them, and flip the switch, and they start going haywire.
Oh, yes.
What the heck? Who the heck is that? So apparently, this is Mettaton's new body that Elfies installed. In favor of flipping their switch, they put on a show for us. Before I continue, when I was first playing Undertale and got to this part, I was praying much harder than the musical scene before, that nobody walked into the room because this was weird. This fight starts with a banger song and Mettaton's crazy dance moves. Our goal is to boost Mettaton's reigns, and if we don't, they die. They throw multiple attacks at us, such as bombs, legs, and a pop quiz, which is the most deadly attack ever. Throughout the fight, Mettaton's body parts start to fall off until he's just a head and torso. But through our entertaining efforts, we boost the range so high, Mettaton stops fighting us. Apparently, these ranges are so high that Mettaton starts accepting calls from the audience. The first caller talks a lot like a certain ghost we've met before. Mettaton instantly recognizes who it is and becomes sad. Apparently, Mettaton and Napstablook are related to each other. I'm just gonna flat out say it. They're cousins. Mettaton takes more calls, and they're all about how Mettaton is a great entertainer. Mettaton realizes that they're the only star the underground has, so they decide that they'll stay and let us live. But Mettaton's battery is almost dead, so they thank us and everyone, and power off. The battle ends and Elfies finally gets into the room and is shocked to see Mettaton. Thankfully, they aren't dead, and Elfies is relieved. We leave her alone and move on. Ah, frick, I thought she was gone for good. She walks with us and awkwardly talks about how we're going to meet Asgore. We get to the elevator, and as soon as we're about to walk in, Elfie stops us. She says that she lied to us. We require much more than just a human soul to cross the barrier. We also need a monster soul. So if we want to leave the underground, we have to kill Asgore and take his soul. And then Elfies leaves us alone, and we take the elevator up. Now, after our travels, meeting monsters, making friends, having fights, sharing laughs, it's finally time to meet Asgore. The elevator opens and we walk out. We walk through a grey and empty sea. We walk for a little and come across a familiar house. It's completely identical to Toriel's house. In order to go down to the basement, we need to find 2 keys in the house. While walking around, we encounter many monsters. Tell us a tale. In Undertale, I'm sorry, I just killed the nerd. I'll switch back. They tell us that long before we fell down, another human child fell in the ruins and called for help. A monster named Azrael, the prince of the underground, heard the human and brought them to the castle. And from there, they became best friends. And the king and queen treated the human as their child. But one day, the human became very ill. For their dying request, they asked to see the golden flowers from their town. There is nothing the monsters do to help, and so the human died. After their death, Azrael took their soul and became a monster with godlike powers. Azrael took the human, crossed the barrier, and brought the human back to the town. Once he had entered the town, the humans saw him and attacked them because they thought they had killed the human. Azrael had the power to kill them all, but he didn't. Instead, he just smiled and walked away. He walked all the way back to the castle and died. With that, Asgore made a rule that every human that falls down to the underground must die. After the monsters tell their story, they say how Asgore will free them from the underground. With that, we enter the last corridor. Here, we meet a man. He tells us that before we meet the king, we'll be judged on our every action. We'll be judged by how much EXP we've earned. EXP stands for execution points. When we kill someone, our EXP increases. If we get enough EXP, our love increases. Love stands for level of violence. Now, we didn't kill anyone, aside from the training dummy, but they don't count. We only ran away or spared people. Our reward for doing so? Sans is the mysterious man, we just can't get enough of this guy! And so, he leaves us to meet Asgore. We leave the final corridor and enter the throne room. We walk into the room. The floor is covered with golden flowers. Asgore is watering them, turns around in shock to see us. He takes a moment. He wants to ask us if we want a cup of tea, but he knows what he has to do. He tells us that when we're ready, we can meet him in the next room. Well, I'm not ready yet. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Oh, you guys are still here? Going into the next room, Asgore sees that we're nervous. He tries to comfort us by saying it will be like a trip to the dentist. We follow him into the next room, which turns out to be the barrier. He asks us if we're ready, and this time, I am. And so, the battle begins. Oh my god, he just did that. Okay, let me explain why Asgore just destroyed the mercy button. He destroyed it because he thinks he doesn't deserve mercy for what he's done. He's killed humans, he's failed his people, he thinks he's done so many wrong things, and that he shouldn't have mercy. Which is extremely depressing. Asgore's a pretty well-written character. We can try everything to avoid killing him. but they don't work. So the only thing we can do is kill him or die. Asgore throws attacks at us, and we dodge them. He takes all of our blows. After a couple of attacks, Asgore collapses. He's still alive long enough to tell us his life story, though. He tells us about the day his son Azrael died. He was so furious, he declared war on humans. He declared that he would absorb 7 human souls, and then wipe out all of humanity. The monsters liked the idea, but the queen did not. She became disgusted with Asgore and left him. Asgore never wanted this to happen. He never wanted to hurt anyone. He just wanted everyone to be happy and hopeful. It's made him so depressed, and he asks us to take his life. We are then given 2 options, fight or mercy. Even though he has done so many wrong things, I think that he deserves mercy. Asgore is in shock. He promises to treat us like family. He can tell stories, eat butterscotch pie. We can be happy. Oh, not this guy again! So Flowey pops up and takes the 6 human souls Asgore had, and tells us that in this world... So Flowey took over the game, and our save file! I lied when I said it wouldn't have any importance. We load this file and are in a dark, empty room. The only thing in here is a save point, which Flowey erases! So, Flowey's a god now. Flowey thanks us and says how it feels so good to finally have a soul inside of him again, which I guess he never had before? Even though Flowey is already a god, he still needs our soul to become even more godly. He'll show everyone the real meaning of this world, which is something I don't know. He also deleted our old save files so that we can't escape his world. He now has control over all of our save files and will keep saving over and over and over and over again so he can keep killing us. But we won't put up with this, so we stand up against him. He laughs and calls us an idiot, and then it begins. Dear God. Through the power of the 6 human souls, Flowey is now God. He effortlessly attacks us with attacks we've never seen before. We try to deal damage to him. Nothing. We try to run. Nothing. No matter what, Flowey keeps killing us again and again and again. And every time, he laughs and reloads to save, so that he can keep killing us again. By the looks of it, there's nothing we can do. Unless, if we can survive long enough, we'll get a warning from one of the human souls. Flowey disappears, and we're sent to a room full of knives. We dodge around them until we see our act button. Going over and clicking it lets us call for help. It seems hopeless, until a different human soul responds to our cry, and prepares us for Flowey. Surviving Flowey's next fleet of attacks, we get a warning, and are sent to a room full of hands. But just like the last room, there's an act button that lets us call for help. We now know what we should do. We keep surviving Flowey's attacks so that we can get the warnings. We keep calling for help so that we can continue the fight. Eventually, we come to one last warning. We call for help, and this time, all the human souls come. They come down and aid us, boosting us back to full health. And then, Flowey comes back. This time, his defenses drop to 0. Flowey slowly starts shooting stars at us. Our fight button appears. We hit Flowey with a big attack. Keep doing this until Flowey realizes what's going on and hits us with everything he's got. The attacks are almost impossible. We keep hitting them until his health reaches 0 and he starts to break down. He cries out in pain, cursing at us for defeating him. Oh, come on! After that, he kills us over and over and over again until he leaves us at 1 HP. He asks us if we really thought we could defeat him, and yeah, I don't know what went wrong. He laughs at us and tells us that we're all alone. He wants to prove his point even more and lets us call for help. so we call for help. Flowey laughs and raises his pellets to kill us. Flowey tries to reload his file, but it doesn't work, and the human souls appear. Suddenly, they turn on him and destroy him and his powers, saving us. We're met with a tough choice here. We can either kill him for all the pain and torture that he's caused us, or we can spare him and let the monster who killed us multiple times live. It's a pretty strong choice, but I chose to spare. Flowey asks us what we're doing, and we spare him again. He tells us that killing him is the only way to end this. We spare him again. He says that he'll come back. We spare him another time. He says he'll kill us. We spare him again. He tells us he'll kill everyone. We spare him one more time. He says he'll kill everyone we love. We spare him 3 more times. He starts to get confused. He asks us why we're being so nice. He doesn't understand. Can't understand. He just can't understand. Flowey ran away. Wait, he doesn't have legs! We are now in this familiar room. It's identical to the one in the ruins. There's a door in front of us, and we walk through, leaving the underground. And this marks the end of our tale. It's all over, and we've come a long way. We've traveled through various areas, met, fought, and befriended many monsters. And most of all, we stayed determined. And now, it's over. If there wasn't 93 different endings! Ha! Don't click off this video yet! Actually, wait a minute. Do I really want to end another 10 minutes? The script I'm reading now has already taken me 3 months, and I still have to record and edit everything for this video. Let's flip a coin! Heads I stop, tails I continue. Now let's flip again. I don't like that result. Okay, one last time. Alright, you saw the coin. We're stopping the video, and I'll make a deal with you though. If this video performs well, I'll make a part 2 about the other endings. If not, well then, I probably want to make it. Probably. And I might, hear me, might consider quitting. Well then, you should play Undertale. It's only for a couple of dollars, and it's a really good game. Anyways, thanks for watching. You have no clue how long this video took.